I've got a tier list of every single regiment in the British Army. If you haven't
watched the other video, I basically explained every single other regiment.
So we've got an entire tier list from GOAT status, would join, to it's alright, and then absolute garbage, do not join the regiment. The 1st Infantry, OTC, AAB, RMP, Moderation, Special Forces, GG, Grenadier Guards, and RIC, as well as ETS. So let's start with the 1st Infantry Division. Now, the 1st Infantry Division is a very weird one because it's like, you're not good enough to join UKSF, right? But then you don't want to really join anything else. So you're kind of like the leftover trash that no one wants from the Special Forces. So you're kind of the bottom of the barrel. When I was there, it was quite fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was like everyone was in tryhards, and it was quite fun being around a lot of the people because they're very supportive, and the raids were also really fun, which other regiments don't have. So honestly, I think it's a would join. I would join IFD if I could again, because it's a really fun regiment and people aren't that sweaty. Alright, OTC. Okay, so I've joined OTC before, and if you don't know, I was a course instructor before, and it was quite boring. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was one of the most boring jobs I've ever had. But the good thing about this is that if you join OTC, you're guaranteed to get a job on another regiment if you want. So, like, it was quite boring. Like, it was, you just host phases, you just copy and paste, and like I don't understand why honestly you would join OTC like willingly from not trying to get like a higher rank. Like, I don't know who would just want to copy and paste without just receiving like a higher rank. So honestly, it's kind of like between it's alright and but I'm leaning towards more because like it's not alright, it's not even, bro, it's honestly sucks. Next, the 16th, just call it AAC, the Aviation Corps, basically the guys who fly the airplanes and stuff. So for AAB, I'd say that it's like the most fun regiment because of the airplanes. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's actually really fun to move around with the airplanes and stuff, and you can do like trainings by yourself, or you can call other people. Honestly, when I was there, it was quite fun. Like, I was able to fly a lot of airplanes. I'll give you a gameplay of me for that. I think it's quite between I would join again and it's alright. I think like it's quite a great regiment, but I wouldn't really put it on the same level as like IFD. Alright, RMP, the most controversial regiment by far, I would say. But honestly, there has been a lot of ups and downs with RMP. They have been on top of the world at times, and sometimes in inspections they just get 0. But we can't deny the activity is great, and I think a lot of events get hosted. And see, like, there's no middle ground for RMP. It's either garbage or it's would join. I think it's alright. Like, alright, next is the Moderation Regiment. Now, this is not really an actual regiment, this is a sub-regiment, but I'm still gonna consider it because, you know, it's still on the list. Moderation. I've joined Moderation before, and I would say the system is very clean, but the job is quite boring. I mean, when you sign up for Moderation, you know what you're signing up for. You're signing up to sit there like a creep behind your camera and moderate everyone throughout the entire day and have no life. So you kind of know what you're signing up for. But for me personally, I would never join it again, just because it's so repetitive, and you just have to keep continuing just to moderate. And honestly, if you're joining the British Army to have fun and do things with other people, like, it's honestly garbage. UKSF has always had an image of high elite trained people, and it's a regiment for basically the elite of the elite. And I have joined UKSF before because, you know, I wanted to see what it was like. Now, the training was very difficult. I mean, even getting into UKSF was like pretty much an entire event by itself. Like, it was extremely difficult on me. But honestly, if you want to really become great at combat, I think UKSF, like, just besides the British Army alone, there are a bunch of keyboard warriors, a lot of sweats in there, and you're bound to get good at combat. I'm not gonna lie, because just keyboard warriors and absolute sweats. And the training was quite intensive, but the events are quite fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, would join or say it's alright. I wouldn't call it like GOAT status to get better at combat. And if you really enjoy combat games, I would join as well. Now, next up is RGG, the Royal Grenadier Guards. Although I haven't joined RGG, I have friends who are in RGG before, and they said like it's really fun, the community, but the punishment is like by far the worst. Like you legit have to do hundreds of jumping jacks, and if you don't know what that is, you basically type out every single time you jump out in game, and their punishments like can go up to 1,000, 2,000. Like it can get really bad. So I think that factor of just getting like punished once is like it'll scare you to death. So honestly, I wouldn't really consider joining, and I would put it at E tier. Next up is RIG, or otherwise known as the Royal Intelligence Corps. Now this sector of the British Army is exactly why I got banned. Basically, they literally do all the investigations and stuff, and like they make all the reasons why someone gets banned, and they have to go through this entire protocol. Now if you join RIG, most of them, not gonna lie, are in the British Army for like years and years and years, because they really need to trust you. So if you actually end up getting into the regiment, you probably have played this game before, like years and years and years on before, and they're really like secretive of whatever they do for some reason. Even though this is a block game, for some reason, I don't know, they're very secretive, like they're actually in the CIA or something. I would probably like rank them by their status, and from their status we would put, most people would put them at goat status, but for me it's absolute garbage. But I think their job is quite boring as well, so we'll find the middle ground and say it's alright. ETS, you know, we've got no GOAT statuses, but we've got ETS left. Now, what do I think about ETS? Now, ETS is probably the most boring regiment beside moderation, just because it is the same exact thing every single day. All you do is you sit there and you host trainings, and you just non-stop do that for the entire day, and you just keep getting up and up in the rankings, and there's no combat, no nothing, and it's just training after training. But honestly, the time I had during ETS was pretty fun, because they have like fun events where they do like random games and stuff. So for me, honestly, it wasn't too like bad. I know like a lot of people, when they see ETS, they're like, oh, this is a horrible regiment, they just sit and paste and copy. But you know what, they're actually right though. But I want to say that there are fun aspects to it. But there's no way I'm putting it like even remotely close to would join. I would never join ETS again. It's the worst, like one of the worst regiments to rejoin again. But like to their regiment, honestly, I would put it at like it's alright. Like it's not that bad. Alright, that was the completed tier list. We've got all the regiments on would join, it's alright. No regiment made it to GOAT status. Now, if you guys do disagree with some of my viewpoints about some of these regiments, leave a comment and tell me your experiences in your regiment, because you know this is just the opinion of me, and you don't have to listen to me. You know, I'm just a random dude. If you do agree with me, then please let me know.